Okay, so a while back I bought a fan that had LED lights on it, and of course I did some tinkering and I thought I fried something. Luckily I didn't, but I took it apart, and upon taking it apart, I found a circuit. Circuit had what's known as a transistor, basically. It looks like this. So kind of it's flat, like it's flat. It's got three legs, and the other side of it's round, right? And there's two types of transistors that I can think of off the top of my head, but one's NPN transistor, and then the other is a PNP transistor. So the CVE letters at the bottom stand for vase for V, collector, and emitter. So the vase basically is like the gate, opening and closing, to let electrons through. And the gate's opened up all the way, the power can flow through the collector and out the emitter. Emitting. As long as it's emitting, it's pushing out whatever the energy is going outside of it. And the collector is where the big energy comes into it, right? And and the vase basically opens and closes and says, "Hey, that's enough," or "Yes, we need more power." Um, and so an NPN transistor, the the P is in the middle, so the vase, which is also in the middle, is powered by positive power, positive negative electrons. And the two on the end are negative. And so for PNP transistor, the base is powered by negative, and um, the ends are powered by positive. So that's how that works. And to my knowledge, I just thought, oh, okay, just look it up, no problem, this is how it works, and I didn't understand quite exactly what effect this certain hookups had to it, like how you got the gate to work, or the vase to work. Um, and I thought, just hook up positive power and that's it, and I can lower or make it higher. If I made the positive power come in that was less, then the current that flowed through the whole transistor would be less, right? I thought that's how it worked. Um, with one of these, I can't remember which one it is, but um, basically the way it works, the it either gets more or less based on the in reference to, I think it's the collector or emitter, one of those. Um, but one of them is like if the vase current is less than the collector and emitter, then the current that's flowing through will actually be really high. And on the other one, it's like if the current flowing through the vase is lower, then it'll also be low. And I didn't know that. I didn't exactly know how that all worked. I thought it all just, you know, base is low, current should be low that's flowing through the whole thing. That's the way I understood it because I didn't know any better. But it turns out that's not exactly the way it works. And um, depending on which one you use, that's that. So I was fooling around in my circuit app, and this is what I made. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working the way I thought it would. So LED lights, and the battery, and then you have a switch right here, and then you have a variable resistor right here. So resistor with squiggly lines, and basically it varies the resistance that the power is going through. And so I thought, oh geez, okay, I've got to have a lot of resistance, so the LED shouldn't be as bright. But what I realized that I thought was kind of pissed me off. So the further this arrow is away from the further the arrow is away from this side of the resistor, the variable resistor, also known as a potentiometer, the further it is away from it, the more resistance between these 2 points is. So that's why the number right here is so high. Um, this number right here is referring to resistance on this side, from this side to the arrow. So it's obviously going to be low because it's closed, but nothing's hooked up to that, so it doesn't really matter. So I figured, well, shoot, the resistance is high. So I thought that I figured resistance is high, so the power to the LED should be low, right? Resistance is high, gate should be low, and should be resisting a lot of power. Well, I learned that it's actually the opposite, and I think it's because I picked a PNP transistor. From what I've gathered, so check this out. So right now resistance is high. I can go even higher, so I can get that 720F even higher. Not by much though. And LEDs glow when it gets high. When it gets really high, LEDs glow. But then when the resistance is less, the LEDs actually dim. They start dimming, and I couldn't figure out why. I mean, it's a very slight change, but anyways, and I couldn't figure out why because, like I said, I thought transistor worked a certain way. I didn't know it mattered, what the other, how much power was going to the other into the other points of it. I figured more resistance should be less power going there, but it turns out with an NPN transistor, the more resistance you have, it's gonna open up that gate more. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like a reference thing. So yeah, that's what I learned right there. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a new circuit with a different transistor, and it should be the opposite. Yeah, it should be. It's gonna be a NPN transistor. So can't wait for that, dude. So I'm gonna make another one real quick.